assault and batteries, but my trunk stay ever ready. Assault and battery, if you scared, you never ready.
Alright, this video is going to be about WrestleMania and a lot of the news that's been coming out of this past weekend when it comes to TKO. But if you're new to this channel, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts of WrestleMania and what you thought of Night 1 and Night 2. The biggest news coming out of WrestleMania was basically a day after. Early Monday morning, you heard Mark Shapiro, TKO CEO, basically saying that TKO has a 100% actually, a large creative control of the WWE product, and their main goal is to bring in celebrities, outside individuals, to bring in new viewers and basically push the WWE marketing aspect. This has been going on forever. Ever WrestleMania 1 was basically, you had Muhammad Ali, you had everyone. The thing is now it's so heavily pushed where I think now wrestling has taken a back seat. And it's just crazy because you see the difference between WrestleMania Night 1 this past Saturday and WrestleMania Night 2 on Sunday. One seemed like it was presented by TKO and the other one was presented by WWE. And it's so bad because now everyone on Night 1, it was like, I think they tried, but I think when you got the ads, you got the commercials, you got the wait times, wrestling really literally took a last place to all that stuff. And you had matches that were 7 minutes long, matches that were 10 minutes long. And that's not what WrestleMania was supposed to be. It was, you have pay-per-views where wrestling matches go 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and for the biggest show of the year, you're getting 7 minutes, which is like basically a Raw, a glorified Raw at that point. I feel the most bad for Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes because they really, for a match that was 20 years in the making, for a match that people have been saying that we want to see culminate at WrestleMania, they really got the shitty end of the stick when you had Jelly Roll, when you had Pat McAfee. Their storyline took precedent over what that 20 years teacher versus student legacy build really was. And I think they tried so hard, but like at the end of the night, fans were exhausted, from everything that they saw, which was absolute nonsense. And, having a headlock and a bear hug in the main event of WrestleMania, it's not going to bring people in. It's going to make people bored. It's going to make people annoyed. And it just shows that TKO's way of doing wrestling, their idea of what wrestling should be does not work. You're going to have fans backlash. You're going to have a backlash of fans. You're going to have them just shitting all over the main event. And now you're going to go down for being one of the worst nights, one of the worst WrestleManias, actually, of all time. Not saying Night 2 was, like, bad. To me, Night 2 was great. Night 2 was probably one of the best, WrestleManias in a long time. It was up there with WrestleMania 39, WrestleMania 40. But when you have Night 1 that bad, I think it's going to really taint the legacy of what WrestleMania is and what it should be. And it's just crazy because you just see the night and day difference between what a WWE production was and a TKO production is. CM Punk and Roman Reigns went out there, and to me, I think they had one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. From the entrances to the last bell, and people were hooked. I recorded about the last quarter of the match, my live reaction, and everyone was hooked. You were from the opening collar and elbow tie-up to the low blow where we thought CM Punk turned heel. I couldn't describe like how great it was watching. But I think now, TKO's big thing is just bringing back those fans who once watched wrestling, maybe got out of it in 2000, 2001, like when everyone else did. But more importantly, I think their biggest goal is to bring in new fans. Their biggest thing is to bring in those people who are watching I Show Speed and Logan Paul on live stream. They want to watch Jelly Roll in concert. They want to see Pat McAfee. Those are their main concerns now. And then you got the advertisers on top of that. So you got the commercial aspects. It's just a different type of wrestling. And I think this is what wrestling is going to be moving forward under the TKO umbrella. And we may not like it, but I think TKO knows, and they've gone on record saying, Tony Khan has actually gone on record saying that they go wherever they want to go. They do whatever they want to do. And they know that fans are going to follow them regardless of, they like it or not. Which I think is the biggest slap in the face to like fans who've been watching for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. To know that they are just seen as a bunch of sheep. And I remember back in the day, that's what we used to call them. We used to call them WWE sheep. WWE can put out whatever they want, and you'll have the sheep just following them to the slaughterhouse or wherever they go. You got the fans are so loyal. Now they got the WWE club. I stand with WWE. That's basically going to be their thing, and it's just crazy. And I hope, and I pray that people start revolting. They just start bashing them, and just the backlash will be insane. And it's already been starting a little bit with the fuck TKO chants at the end of WrestleMania during the press conference, but also online with the ticket prices, with the creative like that they're going. And it's hard to blame Triple H for this because I think I truly do see his hands are tied, and he at the end of the day he does have to do whatever TKO says. And a lot of the news stories that have been going around before WrestleMania was that Triple H may even get let go. You know, they have no relation to Triple H. They can get their own creative guys to come in. But that's when you're really going to see how bad that company really is and how toxic and how poison. It literally is cancer to wrestling, TKO. And I'm really starting to realize that now as more and more articles come out, just like they don't care about wrestling. They don't care about wrestling fans. They just care about their bottom dollar. They just care about their advertisers, and they just want to make as much revenue as possible. Even with 50,000 people in the building, they're able to sell 50,000, double the ticket price, so they don't care. They're laughing in the bank. But it's the fans that are suffering at the end of the day when it comes to their wallets, when it comes to the product, and the enjoyability of the show. And I think all of that stuff has really taken an impact on some fans. And I think it's just time to show them that your displeasure, however that may be, whether it be on video like this, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I think they are starting to take notice, and I guess we'll just see what happens next year. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next video.